Hello, hello everyone. Laura Spragg here, and I have with me the lovely Nicole Hardin, and she's in Tennessee, and I'm in Florida. How great is that? That we can do webinars and all kinds of great things thanks to technology, right, Nicole? Woohoo!
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
And we're just doing this for our teams right now, but if you have any takeaways from this, we would love to hear from you and put your takeaways down on the comment box. And you can feel free to share it with your people as well. But Nicole and I, we got together. We like to brainstorm. I like to brainstorm with other people too. But she and I have a really cool connection. And we're like, let's do some takeaways that we had from our compound effect. So my compound effect is on my phone right now, my Kindle. My tangible version is being used by someone right now, which is pretty cool. But the compound effect by Darren Hardy allowed me to have so many aha moments for me, not only in my personal life, but my business life as well. Nicole heard all about it, and she was like, I need that book, and she read it so fast, and like many of you, have probably read it pretty fast too, because it's a simple read. And I have a few questions that I'm going to pick Nicole's brain about this book, and she's going to do the same with me. We're going to have some fun. We're not professional here. We just want to really share our hearts with you, and we want you to share your hearts with us, because vulnerability is key to success. Doing the things when you don't want to, or you find it difficult to do, and that you'll find from reading that book. So Nicole, I'm just going to go ahead and jump in and ask you just a couple questions. They're not going to be difficult, but they're going to be jam-packed. So you're going to want your notes, okay? You're going to want your paper and pen probably. But Nicole, so when you first read this book, you're like, oh my goodness, I read it in a weekend, because it was pretty fast to read, a very simple read, but it had a lot of stuff going on. So you and I talked about some of the things that we've been learning from this book. I would love to know some of your top takeaways right now. And the second part of that question would be how you're applying them to your business. So what are some of your top takeaways from reading The Compound Effect?
Thank you, Laura, for kicking us off. And I am excited to be on here and get to know your team as well as mine. And I love this book. I started working on personal growth and development about a year and a half ago, but you recommended this book to me, and I had many, many aha moments. And so my biggest takeaway so far was probably from page 30, when they talk about through choosing to be officially liberated from your past, your present, future victimhood. That hit the jackpot with me. This is something I started applying a couple months ago and reflecting. And what I learned was that I had to address I'm just going to let the cat out of the bag. I didn't realize this till Laura had shared her personal story with me and her journey. I had been severely suffering with anxiety for many, many years. And it's so funny that I saw that in many other friends and family, but I never realized that I was suffering with it myself. So her sharing her story with me and me reading this book has really helped me address that and just move forward in life in a really big way, emotionally, personally, spiritually, just all across the board. Just taking ownership for changing the way that I think and my actions, and just reflecting more. And now, instead of the negative, is just reflect on it and move past it. The past is the past. It does not define you. So addressing anxiety was, that's the biggest thing that this book helped me with, is the one thing that I could relate to.
Well, that is great, Nicole. I want to point out to your team and my team how big this is, because the products that Plexus offers is focusing on gut health to mental health, and anxiety especially is something that we can get used to. Like, it's just part of our life. We don't know that it consumes us, and we don't know that it affects our decisions. And I love that you recognize that. That's so huge. And thank you for being vulnerable with us to tell us that. And I suffer with it too, anxiety. So there's more out there that need to hear this. I'm so glad that you said that. So the top takeaway, and then applying it. Okay, so I know that you have some more takeaways.
Yeah, I want to say this about our products. Yes, our products do address gut health, and that got better for me. I've been on the products 3 years. But honestly, if it's anxiety, you and I know it's such a deeper level. There's things that you have to address on your own and work on personally. Our products do so much, and they target that and they help that. But there's a lot you have to do on your own. So
Amen.
I just want to say that. The products are a must-have, but there's some work you have to do on your own, and that was the missing link that I was not doing. So moving forward, yay.
Good stuff.
Good day. Good day. What was the next question you were asking me?
Your next takeaway and how you applied it. Because I know that you have a lot, but yes, what's your next one?
Yes, it's so hard. This is a short read, but just I have notes everywhere. So good. So the next one for me that stood out is on page 31 in the center of the page. It talks about the complete formula of getting lucky. These are some things I'm going to share that I had been applying, that I had been compounding, and I did not even realize. And Laura knows I have shared some things with her. The first one it talks about is preparation with your personal growth. So like I said, about a year and a half ago, I've always loved personal growth, but I really dove into, taking my life to the next level, definitely taking my business to the next level. We all want to be diamonds. That is our goal in this company. You need to recognize that and figure out your why. So what I started doing was really diving into personal growth and development. The second one, it talks about your attitude, your belief, and your mindset. So I shared with Laura back last January, it happened at Super Saturday. I had a huge aha moment about sharing Plexus with people. God convicted my heart that day of, you share Plexus so freely, but as you're sharing these products, you're going to come across people that have just a deeper need. It may be, for me, it was so simple as there's somebody that might need you to pray with them. That was totally out of my comfort zone. And so that's something that I started working on. I read a book, and I told Laura about it. It's called Self-Talk, Soul Talk. That's probably going to be a book that we'll go over at some point. Mm-hmm. But I had major aha moments with that. So that helped me with my mindset and my belief, was reading that book and just pouring in to myself, overcoming things, more prayer and devotion. And so that helped me with the attitude part of this formula. The next thing it addresses is opportunity. I think that opportunity can look so different to so many people. For me, it was just praying. I pray every single day. And Laura and I shared before our Zoom is the people that are coming into this business now are people that I had reached out to a couple years ago. Well, I've still prayed about that. I've still prayed about, every day I pray for God, for God to put people into my path that need these products or something that I have to offer. So that's where I handle the opportunity part about this business is prayer. Action, doing something, and staying busy. You and I just discussed this, staying busy, and IPAs, income producing activities, is the next way that I have applied this. And then it says the end result is luck. So really, there's no luck. You have to work at everything that happens unless you just get a winning lottery ticket. But just being very mindful of these small, tangible things that I've done over a course of time. One thing I want to include in this is, talking about your preparation over a year and a half of personal growth and development. We learned a lot. It made me reflect on this book. We learned a lot at Leaders Retreat a little bit about compounding. They didn't call it compounding, but we talked about things that you can do that add up to the little things that you do that add up to the big things. Whether it's change, you're just going to drink water every single day. Those things add up. So that's my two biggest takeaways from the book. And there are so many, but those are the two that hit home the hardest for me, Laura.
Okay, so first, wow. It's really encouraging to find out that you are doing something right, even when you don't see results. And so I love that you figured that out. When you're reading this book, you found out that the compounding things that you were doing, so you're taking the products, you are reaching out to people, and you were doing all the right necessary actions. And then there might have been a lull in your business or whatever, but you started seeing results, and it is that consistency and the IPAs that you mentioned. I absolutely love that because that's something I'm continually working on, are the IPAs on a consistent basis, and I'm almost there. I'm not quite there yet, but I think it's really cool though when you realize that you are doing something right as well, but knowing that you have to keep doing it and persevering through that. Just so much wow and awe, because I know that you have more, and you guys, we're going to be probably doing another video next week just for our other takeaways, because there's just so much in this book, so many nuggets, tangible too, that we're not going to be touching on today. But Nicole, I really appreciate being vulnerable with us and sharing that you did struggle, but now there's results too. So thank you very much for sharing that.
Results. And I think mine and your one of our favorite words is hope. And not just results, but just so much hope in these products, and just so much hope in this book, redirecting you, getting you kind of, if you're derailed, getting you back on track. I learned that from this book too.
Yes, it's so important. Hope is a word that everybody wants. And you and I talked about this. Sometimes people can get trapped in the negativity, and the negativity takes over, and you lose the logical part. And then people don't realize they don't want hope anymore, but they really do. So you kind of, it's like a catch-20 on this. So hope, it is very tangible, and especially with what Plexus has to offer. So I love how you're applying this, what you're reading from the compound effect, into your business and personal growth. I really, really love it.
Yes. So what are, tell me one of your takeaways and how you've applied it. I know you have many as well.
I do. And Nicole, one of the first takeaways that I have, one of the biggest takeaways that I had, was when he talked about triggers, knowing your triggers, what sets you off. And for me, I took that emotionally. What are your emotional triggers? What is it that's holding me back? So the very first thing, how I applied it, so I read this book a couple years ago, thanks to my friend Kim Miller, who introduced it to me. But I had to remove the emotional triggers. And the very first one was, you're going to be shocked, but it was watching the news, reading the newspapers, etc. It's the things that he mentioned, that Darren Hardy mentioned in the book, and how much negativity that can have on you, Nicole, and how much negativity you can have in your business, in your life, as a mom, as a business owner. It can affect you, and you can find yourself allowing it to feed your morning, your mid-afternoon, and your evening, which is not really good. So I had to remove it. So I went cold turkey on it. I went and completely did not watch it anymore because, I don't like feeling bad, and most people don't, especially if you ask them straight up, do you like feeling bad? And so when you recognize the trigger of what makes you feel bad, you can replace it. And so what I did, Nicole, to replace it is Darren Hardy has specifically he has something you can sign up for, an email that you can get his recordings every day. So 2 to 4 minutes of a nugget, so a tangible step that you can take in your business or personal growth, that you can go to darrenhardy.com, and you'll be able to find it there and subscribe to it. And so that's the first thing that you can replace it with. So you got to replace your triggers, because you want to have something to continue to work for. So getting rid of the news, the bad news, you're still educated enough to make wise decisions in politics. So enough with all the other social media handles. So I had to remove the triggers. And another thing that I did in my Facebook is I started hitting the like button to a lot of motivational speakers, a lot of inspirational things. So that's what I saw in my feed instead of the negative. So I don't have a lot of people complaining about politics right now, just FYI. I can ignore it. I have removed the trigger. It's no longer a trigger. How about that? But getting the positive information on a daily basis, you can listen to TED Talks. You can replace it, because I'm a big fan of oxytocin and serotonin, replacing all happy hormone and the feel-good hormones with the stuff that brings you down. So that is my first takeaway, is removing the triggers and applying them by adding happy things, or positive things that allow me to take action in my life. And that has caused it to be wanting more out of business, because I wasn't a business-minded person before, but this has allowed me to fall into that, to be able to lead myself, which is something I'm still learning how to do, cheering myself on and cheering others on. But it's allowed me to really regroup my calling, focus. I'm more focused on what God is calling me to do right now. So triggers, my first big takeaway.
I love that. I can resonate with what you said many, many years ago when I was in the salon business. That's what I had to do. A lot of times, first thing you flip on in the morning is the news. I could not start my day that way. I would put on some good, feel-good music, because probably 10 years ago, I started doing that. I used to always listen to the news. That's how we grew up. It's kind of a program. That's something you learn. That's the behavior you learn growing up. No, I'm not starting my day with the negative. Honestly, and with what I did, you didn't have to start your day with the news, because whoever sat in your chair was going to tell you everything that's going on in the world.
Exactly.
So I love that we are like in that, remove the negative. That is great. And remove the triggers. And that's something you and I talked about in dealing with anxiety. That's something that I have worked through, is there are certain things you can remove those triggers.
Yes.
You can't always get rid of all of them, but you can do your best to knock out the ones that affect you emotionally the most.
Right.
So,
and it gives you permission to process the information as well, too. Yes. Remove the triggers.
Yes.
Yes.
I think that's going to resonate with a lot of people. If you haven't read the book, that's going to make you want to read the book when you hear, oh, what is my trigger? Your brain's going to be going today, what is there something that triggers me that I could remove? So I hope that gets your wheels spinning today.
Oh, it does.
What is your next takeaway?
Okay, Nicole, my next big takeaway is something that is very important for every individual who wants success. And I'm talking about the want, and that's going to lead to tangible success. And that is where Darren Hardy talks about goal setting. But he said, goal setting is actionable, it's tangible, and you can do this. And so he goes through a scenario where he wrote down every detail that he wanted in a wife. This was before he got married. And he wrote every detail down, and some people think that that's not a good thing because then you have high expectations, etc. But he wrote down every detail that he wanted in a wife, and he went through several pages, and he got at the end of that at describing a person who he wanted to marry. He then asked himself, who did he need to become to have a woman like that? And I thought that was huge. So that's really an important thing when you write down your goals, okay, in goal setting, that you need to ask yourself, who do you need to become? That's a Jim Rohn thing, and he was his mentor. He was Darren Hardy's mentor. Who do you need to become to get where you want to go? And that was huge for me. And so my goals, it's just been like reevaluating what I really want in life and goals. And there's a lot of things, but he'll challenge you if you read the book, and I highly suggest you do, to write down the top 3 things that you want to do. What are your top 3 goals? And so as I'm reflecting on what my top 3 goals are, of course it is personal development. I'm very hungry to learn. Nicole, you're very hungry to learn. A lot of our teams are wanting to learn. And so I think personal development should be everyone's goals. Writing it down, what does that look like? Because you want to listen to understand, not listen to respond, those type of things. You got to be very specific. And that's how I started applying it. But I found something as I'm reading his book, and how maybe it can help you simplify on how to set goals. It's I have 4 Ds, and they're very simple, but it will help you really develop this. And sometimes this word scares people off, but discipline into success. All right, so the first thing that I had to do, this is my aha moment reading his book and goal setting, is deciding what you want. I wanted to be a better person. Now I want to succeed in my business. So what does that look like? So you have to decide what you want. I want to be a better mom. There's several areas that you can decide what you want. If you want to be better in your community, you can do that too. So this applies to a lot of different areas that will help people set their goals. So the very first thing is decide what you want. The second one, Nicole, I think people get lost in this, and this is where they get frustrated after they get some kind of success, or they have a little bit of momentum. What you find in the book is that people get it, but then people will get no's, or if they get no's right off the bat, they stop doing the business. And so what helps me is defining your terms. So after you decide what you want, you got to define your terms. And the terms, this is where I ask people, do you expect perfection from yourself? Oh, so you expected to get diamond in 8 months, or you expected to do somebody else's journey. And Nicole, we've talked about that too, because everybody has their own journey. And so in defining your terms, you have to really give yourself permission to know that it is part of the process. And that's in the book. Darren Hardy talks about the process. He talks about how staying in those daily, mundane, ugly, unsexy steps to get the momentum that you want. And so you define your terms. The third thing that I hope will help you, because it helped me, is determine to take action. You have to determine. And so I have this thing with my friend Alex. Hi, Alex. Where we talk about the secret to success. The secret ingredient, basically, is what we call it, is doing it when you're scared or if you don't want to. That's the secret to success. So you have to determine to take action. So if you have to set your alarm on your phone, Nicole, determined to take action. That's what I do when I speak to people, and I have it on my phone sometimes to remind me of things. Determined. And you can put a positive quote there. You can say, hey, reach out to 3 people there. Set it on your alarm for the repeat. It can be on every day or once a week. But that was one of my takeaways there. I'm like, oh, I got to simplify this. So I have to determine to take action. And the fourth thing was dedicate to the why. Dedicate to your why. People don't buy what you do, but why you do it. And that's what I learned from Simon Sinek. People don't buy what you do, but why? And so what is your why? Do you want to help others? Yes. Do you want to have an abundant life? Yes. Life is full of endless possibilities. And Darren talks about the tangibleness of the law of attraction in there. And so all under this goal, how to set goals, because goals are tangible. You have to really visualize, and write it down, specifically visualize. But the IPAs need to be included in your goal setting. Nicole, thank you for introducing that to me. I'm sure I've heard it before, but income producing activities is something that I want to now work on, regardless of yes or no's, because I know that activity is going to produce the momentum that we all want in our goal setting. So that's how I've been applying it, is really asking myself what the terms, I have to redefine the terms every day, Nicole, every day, because I don't feel the same every day. And none of you do too either. So it's not a feeling base, but it's a logical base. So that's been my hugest takeaways. I have a lot more, but I really want to encourage you all to find your triggers, get rid of them, and then goal setting. Write down what you want and be honest with yourself.
Boom. Yes. Good. All that's good. I want to say one more thing. We were talking about write down your goals. Something that Sonia Dudley has taught all of us, and I try to do this every day. I'm not as good about it, but the days that it's the easiest for me are, Laura and I, you spent some time talking about the no's today. Some of us are struggling with no's, and some of us are struggling with our yes people and why they're not yes yesterday. But it's visualizing, and Sonia teaches us to do that. She will tell you, and I didn't do this till I'd met Sonia. She's like, visualize where you want to be a year from now, 6 months from now, 5 years from now. And she told us, for those of you that are, your dream and your goal is to be a diamond in the company. Well, you got to get to the other steps in between first. So she'll tell you, what does it feel like? Do you visualize yourself getting off that plane in Maui? What is, close your eyes and visualize what is it going to look like, the smells you're going to smell, or your spouse that you take, that how proud of you that they are for reaching that goal. So if you'll do those things, I haven't done it every day, and I'm going to get better about that. But visualizing, taking 5 minutes to just visualize how you see your future. I know, Laura, you talk about like reflecting, and reflecting is so good to get through the issues and dismiss it and move forward. But I think something I'm really going to focus on more this year is visualizing. And this book has helped me with that, and Sonia has helped me with that. So if you're not visualizing and you don't have a dream board, you guys can probably see my dream board behind me in the office. I have an affirmation board in front of me that I say daily, my affirmations and my prayers, and my dream board is behind me. Not behind me because it's in the past, it's just I didn't have room for it here. But let's just start visualizing those goals and compounding them. We compound these little action steps. It's going to be big results a year from now. Huge.
Yes. Thank you for pointing that out. Visualizing is very important. That's something that Sonia was sharing with me early on when I joined in August, to be able to visualize exactly what it is you want, but to speak those affirmations that marry the vision. It's so good. Oh, there's my dog, guys, and my Christmas trees. I'm not sorry, just so you know. It's February 1st and I got Christmas trees.
It's all good. Busy lives. You're a rock star. You're working your businesses and homeschooling mom.
Oh, yes.
Month all year.
High five. High five to you. Yes. So these are really good takeaways, and we're going to have some more, I think, next week. As we get to know each other, as we get to apply more things in the book, the aha moments are going to click a little bit more. You're going to make sense to what you just read, and then you're going to go back and reread it. And it's going to apply. No matter how many times you read the book, it's going to apply to whatever you're going through.
Yes, you suggested the book to me. I read it in a weekend, and then I tried to refresh last night and this morning and reread the things I highlighted because there are so much. But Laura and I want to start doing a book a month, or we don't really know how often. We're gonna incorporate a book, just continuous. I don't know that we need to do a time frame because our next book is going to be a little longer. Do you want me to show them the next book that we're going to do?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not completely through it, halfway, but the next book that we're going to do is Stop Saying That You're Fine. And Mel Robbins, so I've been watching her on TED Talk too. She's she will step on your toes. Like, I needed this book next in my life. So Laura, thank you for recommending this book.
I'm in the middle of it.
Do you want to tell them what we're going to do, how people can get the book?
Okay, so if you want to get this book, okay, so I mentioned at the beginning of this webinar that you can comment your takeaways on the comment box below because we're going to post it in our groups, but we would love to hear from you, and then your name is going to go on to into a drawing. And when should we draw this? This is where should we draw the names? Should we do it by, this is Wednesday, so by Friday or by next week?
I say by Friday will be good, and we'll do it in our individual groups. Like you're going to draw a book for your team, and I'm going to draw a book for my team.
Yes. Yes, and so like I said, so each of us, or what Nicole just said, there's going to be a winner per team, and the book is amazing. She will step on your toes, but it's something that you got to watch and catch yourself saying. It's all about meeting people in their belief system, and so you have to first check yours. And so this book challenges us to stop saying we're fine when we really don't mean it. Yikes. So she's going to step on her toes, and that means you got to promote, and we want to hear your takeaways from this video. It's not long. It's good. Okay. I'm done. I could talk all day. So,
yeah, me too.
Okay.
Well, it sounds good. We'll catch up again next week, and we'll do our drawings and see who's going to get the book and get started. You know, we'll maybe do some takeaways, like you said, from this book, this compound effect, because there's so many good things. I have sticky notes everywhere still.
Yes. So good. Oh, I love you, Nicole. Love you, team.
I love you. Thank you.
Cheering you on.
Cheering you on. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.